Yo, what up, though? Welcome to another episode of Source and Company. I'm your host, Source, of course. As always, you can follow me on Instagram at Source, of course, TikTok at Source, of course, and follow the show, Source and Company, on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. I don't even have time for a whole lot of extra talking because we got a lot to talk about. So let's just dig into it. Y'all know the beginning of the show. It started out as connecting with people from or connected to Richmond. And we have the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest hip hop legend of the 804 joining us today. Oh, I could run down the accolades, but let's just get to it. Y'all know him as Mad Skillz. Skillz, Shaquan, sir, what's good?
Oh man, how are you, sir?
As you stated,
Same shit, different air freshener.
There it is. There it is. How you doing?
Oh man, I can't complain, man. Life is good. I'm blessed, man. Just figuring it out.
Figuring it out. Bruh, like I said, we're going all over the place. Normally I take people, from their start and talk about their childhood, etc., blah, 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 to now. Mm-hmm. And maybe we just gonna jump around though, because you got so much stuff that I cannot talk about everything in an hour if I, did my best. So. Right. But I will start here. All right, so Skillz. Everybody knows Skillz, right? Some people know Shaquan. Not many people know, what am I gonna say?
I don't know what you're gonna say.
Donnie.
Oh.
Can we take it back to the origin? Who are you, bro? Who are you? Because we know Skillz, we know the rapper, we know the battles, all that, all the music stuff. But who are you intrinsically? If that's not too deep a question.
Oh man, a father, son. You know what I mean? Somebody who immersely, involved themselves in the culture for more than half of my life. It's a culture that spoke to me directly. Even when I tried to get away from it, I couldn't. And probably the reason why a lot of people probably might not be able to, get a connection with the first guy is because that is, or the first name you said, because that is probably the one part of my my life that I choose to hold on to, because I've given so much of everything else. A lot of people, might know my history, might know my background. And then some people know things about me and people that are connected to me that other people probably don't know. And I'm very protective over those parts of my life. So, because I'm like, if you signed up to get Mad Skillz, cool, you get Mad Skillz. What you signed up for, I give you all the Mad Skillz update, all the Mad Skillz music, this, then the third, and you be like, damn, I didn't know you had a sister. Yeah, I know. You know what I mean? Because that's my sister. You know what I mean? That's not, she didn't sign up for this.
Word.
So, you know what I mean? Like for me, it's still parts of my life that I hold dear and I try to protect. So that's who that first guy is. He's probably the protector more than anything.
Respect. That's fair. Yeah. Like you said, when you are so deep into the culture and you give a lot, then you got to keep something for yourself. I think that's what happens to a lot of people though that end up in Hollywood or entertainment. They end up giving too much of themselves and kind of lose themselves in the life for real.
Yeah, and then you kind of run into, some people have it has happened. You get into the middle of it and you almost in like a midlife crisis because you like, I don't even know who I am.
Right.
Like I never wanted to be that person. I always wanted to be grounded and keep my close knit stuff close knit.
Word. Fair enough. Let's jump into it then. Let's get into it. So everybody who is anybody knows that you are from where? From Richmond, of course. Right. That's the connection. But right. and that was the name of the first album, From Where. Mm-hmm. when you signed up for this thing, when you signed up for this hip hop thing, like has this ride gone anything like what you thought it was going to be?
No.
Because you've been all over the place.
No, it definitely didn't go the way that I intended it to. But it kept me grounded, it kept me motivated, it kept me inspired, even within, in the midst of failures and in the midst of successes. I always felt the same about the music. And when I look back at, everything that I've done and, the things that I'm still continuing to do, the one common denominator to all of it is the music. You know what I mean? Like, I can't escape how I feel about music. So, I've put it out myself. I've written it for other people. I've DJ'd, so I played it for people. You know what I mean? Now I'm teaching about it, but the common denominator is music. More than, particularly hip hop. So, it's a culture that, came into my life early, and it ain't let me go since then.
Or that's a beautiful thing though. Now you did mention, I gotta ask, you said the word failure. And of course, after 25 years, there's gonna be some failure one way or the other.
Yeah.
When you say failure, like what comes to your mind?
I didn't sell as many albums as Thriller. So I look at that as a failure. You know what I'm saying? So with that first album, and even in the, the midst of later on learning about manifestation and the law of attraction, when I look back at being a young rapper, a young cocky rapper coming up, and I remember a lot of people would ask me right before the album dropped in interviews, Source or Source and Vibe, whatnot, they would always say, like, what do you want to accomplish with this album? And my answer was always the same two things. I would always say, I want people to know my name and I want people to know where I'm from. And when I look back at that first album, that's exactly what I got. And if later on thinking, I was like, damn, I should have said I want to sell more than Thriller. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might have got that. You know what I mean? Like, it might be like, yo, how did this obscure album come out of Virginia and sell 65 million copies? You know what I mean? Like, and then all the other things, people knowing my name and knowing where I'm from, that would have fell under that umbrella. Absolutely. But when I look back at that first album, that's exactly what I got from it. I got people to know who I was, and I got them to know exactly where I was from. And that was a good thing.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about to go all over the board. I'm telling you this because when I say all over the board, it's random. It's very random what we're gonna do. And like I said, normally we go through the life. It's different though, because I already, I'm not trying
to. We got a rapport.
Well, I know you.
Right.
So let's just go. Let's just go. Okay. So off top, let's go to the big thing that happened recently, man. The Jay-Z induction pre-joint. Mm-hmm. First of all, that joint was crazy. It was dope. And I didn't even know it was you that wrote it until after I saw it. I was like, this joint is fire.
Right.
How did you get this gig and how was the experience?
Well, Questlove, a good friend of mine, Questlove from the Roots, had called me one day, and I was in the studio actually, just working. And he just asked me such a random question. It kind of threw me aback. I was like, hello. He was like, yo, when did you stop listening to Jay-Z? And I was like, what? He was like, when did you stop listening to Hov? And I was like, Amir, what do you mean? And he was like, no, I remember you and Tariq having a conversation talking about me and Black Thought. And he was saying that you said in this convo, I used to be able to hear a Jay-Z song once, and I could go and quote all of the quotables, all of the bars from that joint at the barbershop Friday, like verbatim. And he's like, I said, oh, okay. He said, well, when did that stop for you? And I was like, maybe like maybe around after American Gangster. Like I wasn't really a Magna Carta fan, but I kind of was back in this bag on 444. You know what I mean? So, but maybe after like American Gangster 444, you know what I'm saying? He was like, okay, cool. This is what I need. So he tells me what he's looking for. And it still didn't compute to me because I didn't know why he needed it. And he was like, I need everything, the quintessential, all of the bars that a quintessential Jay-Z fan would know, from Jay-Z back in his Das Effects, Fushnicken days to Jay-Z the Billionaire. I need to cover the whole spectrum. And I was like, all right. And he was like, and I need it in 9 days. And I was like, for what? And then he told me what it was for, because it still was an idea. He was about to pitch it to Beyonce. And because the initial idea was Beyonce was going to do the whole thing. And then Beyonce liked the idea, and she came up with the notion to get other people to do the line. She wanted to go first, and she wanted Blue Ivy to go last. And everybody in between would be, Hollywood elite and Jay-Z fans alike. And that's once she said yes, the clock started. And I was on the clock. Worked on that joint day and night, man. And it was a ill experience to be up against the wall with a deadline, you know what I'm saying? And I had been in those situations before, but not like that. And not knowing, not saying not knowing, but knowing that the person that I'm tributing is 100% gonna see this. Yeah. It's not gonna be, oh, he might look at it. It's like, oh no, he ain't performing at the awards. So this will take up the space of a performance. And it's gonna be the first time he see it. And I'm like, shit, man, this whole, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was so much fun, man, creating it. And, all those years of those wrap-ups was practice for that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was basically wrapping up Jay-Z's career in rhyme form.
I did not think of that. That's a perfect description of it. Wow.
20 years of wrap-ups led me to wrapping up Jay-Z's career, basically.
Sheesh. Look, you were prepared for the assignment.
Right. Put a lot of work in for that.
It was worth it. I hope it was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh, it definitely was.
So that's a beautiful thing. I mean, Jay-Z's induction speech or pre-speech, leading into his actual speech.
Yeah.
Quintessential.
And I mean, how many people get to say they wrote for Beyonce, Jay-Z, and Blue Ivy? You know what I mean?
Facts. That's facts for real. You mentioned briefly the wrap up, and I got to touch on wrap up. One, because it was dope as usual. Two, because I grabbed it and cut it in half and threw it on TikTok. I ain't gonna lie. And after that joint, it was like 40,000 views like that. I was like, oh, they want this joint, but the people loved it. And another reason, because you mentioned, you kind of alluded to it being the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Are we leaving that door open?
No, it's closed.
Oh, word? It's closed for real.
So that's it. Yeah.
Not the answer I expected. Okay.
It's definitely. And a lot of people have come to me and said, yo, like you say that every year. And I'm like, actually, I kind of don't. Like the only year I ever said that in the song was 2010. And that's because I did it for 10 years. And people like, oh man, Skillz, no, you ain't going out like that. Like, we gonna holler at you next year. And I'm like, okay, next year, y'all not even gonna be able to find me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm deactivating also, like, I'm going to enjoy my December. After Thanksgiving, I'm going to go drink eggnog and go see the lights and go ice skating. Like, I don't want the stresses of what comes with every time I open my phone, yo, when it's coming. So, and you know what they say, like, people don't really understand what they got till it's gone. So next year, and I told people, I said, listen, I'm gonna do one this year, but next year, respect my decision. Save this tweet, because I want y'all to be like, man, that man said, respect that, let that man have his Christmas, man. That man ain't had a Christmas to himself in 20 years. Like everybody in my life knows. So it's like December 1st, leave him alone.
Right.
Like he come downstairs, get a plate, and go back upstairs. Like we don't even talk to him. Everybody in my family knows that. And I'm like, I want to have what everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to experience that. And I feel like 20 years of doing something is it was a good, a good run. You know what I mean? I don't want to be. I knew that once it wasn't fun for me anymore, I had to stop. Because when anything ain't fun no more, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do it if it ain't fun, if I don't get some kind of self-gratification out of it.
Right.
And, it hasn't been fun for a few years, but I've been, people want it. And it's just time to start it's time for me to start some new traditions.
But I mean, it's kind of perfect timing when you think about the Jay-Z thing, even though the speech was before the wrap up, just because of the time of year. But still, it's the same year in the joint. First time doing that.
Hell of a way to end it.
Right. Yeah. Beautiful thing. And now all your sons and daughters can do their thing.
and I know what's gonna happen is people gonna be like, man, that joint cool. We need Skillz back. And I'm like, yeah, nah. And then when you go to find me to hit me, I'm like, damn, what Skillz ain't on IG no more? Skillz, where's Twitter? Like, no. December, I'm gone.
Word.
I'm gonna pop back up on y'all on January 8th, like, hey, everybody, Happy New Year. I'm like, damn, he did us dirty. But that's what I gotta do for my peace of mind.
Do it. Hey, do it for yourself. Hey,
yeah, man.
After all these years, the people, you gave enough. Yeah.
I gave y'all the victory lap, and we out.
Speaking of the last wrap up, you actually had another voice on that joint.
Mm-hmm.
And I can mention who that is.
Yes.
Okay, so your son, Karan, was on the joint. And here's the perfect thing. I was able to reach out to Karan because I wanted to know if it was something he wanted to know from his pops, maybe had never discussed, or, just something to ask.
Right.
He sent a whole slew of questions. So I'm just going to take one of them.
Okay.
What accomplishment do you cherish the most?
Being able to take care of the people that I love with doing something that I love. That's been a blessing tonight because I know what it's like to have to go punch a clock and, be on somebody else's time. And then when I get off, I got to squeeze in some time to do the thing that I want to do in the midst of my responsibilities and things of that nature. So that's one of the things that, I'm super proud of. And the sneaking him onto the song, I knew that, a lot of people, some people would know exactly who he was and some people didn't. And they just, just a name. They just, because I believe right around the time that I posted Karan, he wiped his Instagram clean. Like it wasn't nothing on his IG or anything like that. I think he wanted to just start fresh. So I think, what my hope is that when this year comes around, whatever he decides to do, people will already, if he does decide to do that, people will be like, oh, that was, wow. Like, yo, he really snuck that one in on us. Like that was, wow. You know what I mean? So it's like, I kind of just threw the ball at the rim and, and if he wants to dunk it or take a stab at it or, you know what I mean? Go behind the back or either just lay it up. If he want to, cool. If he don't want to, he can still back away from it. It's no pressure. But I just feel like it's a hell of a story. You know what I mean? Like it would just be such a good story. Like you got it now. You know what I mean? So when I featured him on it, when I asked him to do it, he was like, "Of course I'll do it." And I was like, "All right, bet." Like, cool.
It's a beautiful thing, bro. It's a beautiful thing. And the whole answer for real, being able to take care of the family with something you love.
Yeah.
and you're having a joint with your son. Another good reason or good way to end the legacy of the
right.
rap.
The way to walk out the door.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Random.
Mm-hmm.
Back in '94. So I used to work at night back in '94.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never in my life seen Tribe live. I'm at work. It's like 11:30, and somebody says, I think Tribe and the Alcoholics are performing at the Flood Zone or
Flood
something like
Zone.
that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You jump on stage?
Yep.
You remember that night?
Yep.
It came to my mind. I was listening to the Drink Champs with
with the
Alcoholics. Yeah,
Right.
last week, and they were just talking. I was like, am I tripping or did this really happen? And then they kind of alluded to the Tribe thing. Which brings us to Tribe, my favorite group. A Tribe Called Quest changed my life. I think you had a shirt that said that back in
I still have it. I still have it.
Is that true, or is that just a dope shirt?
The funny part is when I put the shirt on, it's definitely a true statement. You know what I mean? Because meeting Q-Tip and being discovered by Q-Tip, well, not discovered, but he definitely ushered me up to Stretch and Bobbito and, introduced me to Jay Dilla and people that probably wouldn't have paid no attention to me before, just on the fact that he thought I was dope. So, he was the first rapper to come along to co-sign me. Clark Kent was a person before that, but as a DJ, but Q-Tip was like the first rapper to be like, nah, like I'm gonna let him spit. You know what I mean? Like, check him out. That's my man. That's my little man. And meeting Q-Tip, man, super changed my life. Like, in all ways, I'm forever grateful to him for what he did for me.
I'm still back and forth in my lifetime with Low End Theory and Midnight. 1 and 2 in my life, my favorite albums. Right now is Low End. I'm on Low End right now, so
right. I can dig it.
It'll never change for real. Probably 1 and 2 will never change. Drink Champs. You were on Drink Champs.
Yeah.
Bruh, you were on Drink Champs. Okay, now I get it. I know you dope, and I know you got a long history of hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Drink Champ seems like a historic moment. I mean, it may not be the Jay-Z induction speech, but it seems like a historic moment to the outsider.
Right.
Did you have any thought of how dope it was, or did you just say, yeah, Nori, I do it?
No. It was me and Nori we've known each other for a long time. And I've always been a fan of Nori the rapper, you know what I'm saying? So when 98, when I was on my second go round, after signing with Timbaland or whatever, we would end up on a lot of the same shows. Nori was always in Virginia, North Carolina, DC, Baltimore, you know what I'm saying? He was running through those areas. So, but EFN, I went to Miami for a gig, and EFN was at my gig. And I'm DJing, and he comes up and he was like, yo, man, you don't remember me? Like, you used to do drops for me back in the days. Like, you did a freestyle for my mixtape. Like, yo, man, like, I'm mad because I really wanted to bring my Nod Factor 12 inches. Like, he was really a fan. And I was just like, yo, that's crazy. Like, man, I'm a fan of what you and Nori doing, man. He was like, yo, we got to get you on the show, man. And I'm thinking it's just talk, like, industry talk or whatever. So we started following each other on social media. And then I saw somebody on there. I can't remember who they was, but I remember thinking to myself, damn, he got on Drink Champs? Like, man, I know I can get on here if this dude got on here. I got stories for days. So I hit EFN, like, yo, man, like, I still want to plug in with you, bro, and tap in and maybe get on the show. He was like, listen, bro, you have to be on the show. Like, and I don't think EFN or Nori or anybody in that whole circle realized how good the episode would be. You know what I mean? Like, once I got them drinks in me and started talking, because I don't drink. Like, anybody that knows me, right. I don't drink. I had anywhere between 11 to 14 shots that night. So
I was watching
I
it as somebody that
lost.
knew that you didn't drink. I was like, bruh, oh, this about to go down.
It's two things that happened from that interview. I was like, number one, I'm never gonna drink like that ever again. Number two, I was like, I'm never saying nigga ever again. I've said nigga enough in 2.5 hours for the rest of my life. And I kept cringing because I was like, if my mom was alive to see this, she would kill me.
Right.
So, but yeah, man, I didn't realize how much, you know, that Drink Champs podcast episode, how much it was going to flourish and give hope to a lot of people from where I was from, and the DMX story happening right before we lost, you know what I'm saying? The God DMX, rest in peace, God bless. And, you know, it's just the gift that keeps on giving. It's like I watched it the other day, just in here cooking and just threw it on YouTube. And I was like, yo, you hilarious. Like, like it was just funny to me, man. But I had a blast. And I love those guys, man. And I appreciate the opportunity they gave me.
Man, that joint was hilarious. Off topic, well, kind of on topic. So we were at a party years ago. Me, you, and some other people.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff was there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only telling this because it's on video, and I'm just gonna say it out loud. I said it the other day when Lonnie wished him a happy birthday. I'm just gonna say it though. So I ended up having 3 double shots of tequila. Like I do drink, but I had 3 double shots of tequila. By the end of the night, you know, I was feeling good. We're walking out as they close the joint. Jeff and his people are like a couple people in front of me. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, my mind says, hey, just start yelling out, this is how Uncle Phil used to kick you out the club, or something ridiculously crazy like that.
Oh,
and I didn't say it once. I said it at least 3 times. I said it until he stopped moving, and so he heard me. You know, my wife, she was like, what are you doing?
Right. Like, what are you embarrassing us all? What are you talking about?
What are you doing? It was terrible. But I said that because, you know, we got to the end of the episode, which was one of the more emotional, touching moments of the Drink Champs episode.
Yeah.
When, you know, hit up Jeff and how things going? Things good?
Oh man, we good. I went to his I went to his crib in November, right before the end of the year, and did a live set with him where I actually DJ'd and he was on a microphone. And it was super fun. Yeah, it was super fun. And a lot of people, because when we did the intro, like he was just DJing and people didn't know who was talking. And then I kind of came over into the screen. So I emceed for him and then he emceed for me. And but yeah, man, it was just a super cool moment, like big brother, little brother moment. I'm forever indebted to him. And you know, sometimes you just got to step back from a situation and look at it and be like, okay, was I tripping? And then sometimes you got to be man enough to say to yourself, okay, I think I was tripping. You know what I'm saying? So in the case with me and Jeff, it was more so along the lines of that, but nothing crazy. It was so dope to just connect with him again and just rekindle that brotherhood and that friendship that we've always had.
That's dope. So for anybody who doesn't know, Skillz, well, you're over here. Skillz used to MC while Jeff DJ'd, and they traveled the world a couple times.
Bro, I listened. I was just in here the other day, right? So I was looking at my first passport, right? So this is my first passport. I had to get pages added to it. I was sitting here scrolling through this joint, looking through it. And when I realized all of the places that I went to in a 10-year span, it's insane, bro. Mm-hmm. Like this joint is dead, like phone book thick. Like, and I couldn't put no more stamps in it. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe on like a throwback Thursday or something, I need to just make a post. Cause I'm looking at this joint like, damn, I was in Indonesia. Like when? Right. I was in Russia twice. I only remember going to Russia once. Like, and all of that was, you know, tagging along with probably the greatest hip hop DJ of all time. And I'm forever grateful to him for that.
Yeah, I argue that point as well. Actually, today I happened to, on TikTok, I happened to post a question asking, well, just saying, let's big up the DJs. You know, who's your favorite DJ? If you're a DJ, you know, do something, cut something, blend, whatever. And Jazzy Jeff's name came up over and over and over. Who else's name came up? Yours.
Really?
Yeah, about a half hour before we were supposed to connect, somebody tagged you and said Skillz. I was like, okay, and they posted a video of you DJing.
That's crazy.
Speaking of which, I have no shade towards the great DJ D Nice. I love D Nice. I love everything he did, especially in the pandemic, quarantine.
Thanks.
Changed people's lives, helped people survive for real.
Right.
But I have to say, that Wednesday before, somebody else was on live DJing and they did a quarantine mix and that joint was crazy.
Yes. I did I'm working on a documentary about the 90s girl brunch, which is something that I did during the pandemic, right along the lines of Club Quarantine. Might not have had the same numbers and you know, the celebrity factor, but I definitely was consistent with what I was doing because I was at home DJing too. The week before, I did a mix and I called it the quarantine mix. And the songs were all songs about sickness, not being able to touch people. So I think I played the safety dance. I played Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. I played Contagious. It was, when I look back at it now, because none of us knew what this was going to be. Right. We just thought we might be in the house for a couple of weeks and we going back outside. None of us knew what this was. So looking back on it, super insensitive now, but it was very, it was very creative in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like, so I pulled it down after a while because I was like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, but I'm definitely gonna put it in the documentary. I'm working on the doc for the 90s Girl Brunch right now as we speak.
I mean, I get it. I get the insensitive thought. That joint was perfect, though. I'm trying to tell you, I was in the kitchen. I remember being in the kitchen with my phone, right, and just playing the joint and just tripping off the song choices. That was the best part. It was the song choices for me. For real. That joint was crazy. So just so y'all know, D Nice, no, all love and respect. This dude did a little something first. I'm just saying.
The quarantine mix was first,
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Is it true? I swear I heard this story. I thought you told it. I'm just gonna tell you about the story and you tell me who was in it.
Okay.
You were in a car, waiting for another person to be picked up. A song comes on the radio while you're sitting there. It's Norah Jones. Sound familiar?
No, not yet.
Okay. Well, maybe it's not true. I'm gonna go with the story though. So the song's playing. You like the song. I don't know what song it is. You like the Norah Jones song. And I'm thinking Norah Jones, you know, that type of sound. You're singing, top of your lungs, maybe, singing hard, enjoying the song. But you're not looking at who gets into the car with you. The other person gets into the car, cuts the radio off and says something. Then you look over and see who it is. Nah.
I'm trying to.
Big Daddy Kane? Is this not a thing? Oh, come on. This is not real? Bruh, I swear I heard that story. I thought you told the story. That's a great story. It is a great story.
It is a great story. And if Big Daddy Kane was anywhere involved, I know I remember it because that's one of my top 5. You know what I mean? So anytime that I'm in the presence of Kane, I remember them all. So I don't, So because when you said Norah Jones, I was like, I don't know. I don't think that story had any validity to it.
I'm gonna keep it in my mind though, like it's true. I ain't gonna tell it no more, but I'm gonna keep it in my mind like it's true.
I ain't mad at it.
What do you think about? Do you have any reservations, any qualms about the way music has changed? Are you old man in the club? Are you like let the kids rock? Like what? How you? How do you approach music?
Well, I guess I would be an old man in the club because I don't even really be in the club with the kids, number one. Number two, I do realize that everything has to change. It has to evolve. And I would hope that this music that we love so much would change and not be the exact same as it was 30 years ago, because then that means there was no growth, nothing came to fruition, nothing advanced. So I'm a firm believer of, more than likely 9 times out of 10, the generation that's present never really likes the generation before them music.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying it's not a place for it. I don't like it. I don't personally. I'm a DJ, so sometimes I do end up playing some songs that I might not like, or they might not be for me. But I also realize I'm not DJing for me. It's people on the dance floor, and I need to keep them entertained. So if they want to hear a song that's kind of simple and didn't really take a lot of thought to get made and very repetitive, like that's what y'all want to hear, fine. But I don't listen to it, in my car, in my leisure, when I'm working out or things like that. But I do realize that it is a place for it. And I don't want nothing to stay the same, man. Like, it's not far as music anyway.
Do you think that the that approach is more hip hop? Like, is rock the same way? Do people not, like, I feel like people revere old rock more than not we, but younger people revere older hip hop maybe.
I mean, when you look at music like, punk rock, what I'm saying? Punk rock came after rock and roll. And nobody in rock and roll liked punk.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like, they was like, man, that ain't what we doing. Like, that's not the truth. But, I believe that everything comes along for a reason. And if you ever want to be in tune to what the music is doing, when people always ask me, oh man, where do you see Skillz? Where do you see music going? What you think music gonna be in the next da-da-da-da-da? I'd be like, look at the kids. Mm. Like, the music is in the kids gonna tell you what the music gonna do. If the kids are educated and aware and self-aware and ready to, make a new claim in the world, and that's gonna reflect in the music. If the kids are kind of not really caring about a lot of things, just paying attention to self this, self that, let's get money, that's going to come off in the music. You know what I mean? The music always, the kids always define what the music is going to
do. Back about around last March, I talked to Wordsworth. I interviewed Wordsworth. And he told me, well, I was asking him about, because he's a teacher now. He's a teacher in Florida at like a middle school, private school where his daughter goes.
Cool.
And I asked him, do you have any reservations about having a real job? He was like, man, I'd be on Lyricist Lounge. The show would come on Wednesday. On Thursday, I was in the Twin Towers working for a beeper company. Mm-hmm. You worked a real job.
Yeah.
As your career was taking off. Like, I don't know how long it lasted, but as your career taking off. Now, I know a lot of, stories, jokes. The city had jokes, because we're looking at you as Skillz, and now you're that dude.
Right.
And some people are like, he's still working, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Did you have any reservations, or did you just look at it like, I'm gonna get this money while I can get this money?
I tell people all the time, like, if it was social media back then, I definitely would have been a meme. You know what I mean? But I also knew that I just had a child, and my aspirations wasn't paying my bills yet. So for me, and you got to understand, like, I got the record deal, moved to New York, did the album, left work. I'm on. This shit about to pop. I'm on. Album comes out, doesn't do what the label feels like it should do. They start spending all their money on Junior Mafia, Lil Kim. They let me go. They let the Artifacts go. And I'm back at work. And not only am I back at work, but the videos and the songs are still in rotation. So you could leave, be at your dorm watching Rap City, and I'm on Rap City at 4:30. You go to class at 5:50, and I'm working at the parking deck. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely was the butt of a lot of jokes and a lot of ridicule. And I remember telling one of the guys who used to joke on me a lot, like, damn, nigga, you know what I'm saying? You went to New York. I thought you said you was gonna put the city on and you back out here with me. Da, 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 da. And I never forget, I told him, I said, yo, one day people gonna ride by here and go, man, this is what Mad Skillz used to work at. Trust me, bro. You like, fool, you sound crazy. Like, what? That don't even sound, you know what I'm saying? That sounds stupid. Like, and at the time it did, we joning, we cracking on each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, he a co-worker, but some of the stuff he was saying was stinging. And I just remember I was like, if I come in here from 7 to 3 and all I got to do is sit down and take these tickets and, take this money for these students for parking, I'm going to make sure that I continue to work on what I want to do. So I was bringing my rap books in there. I brought my MPC in there. Like, I was trying to make beats in there. Like, so the parking deck that booth turned into a training ground for what we use for WDCE later on in life. And a lot of the songs and raps that I ended up selling to people and, doing for other people, I wrote in that booth. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I went back maybe about a year and some change ago where they did a news story on me. And me and Juan Condi actually stood outside with the Channel 6 news team. And I remember saying to myself, like, damn, I told him people gonna be like, yo, nah, he used to work here, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember 20 years later, you know what I'm saying? I finally got that off, but I knew that regardless of what my dreams were, until they started paying my bills, I had to do a regular job, and I wasn't gonna go out here and risk my freedom. I wasn't gonna go out here and do nothing crazy and hustle or nothing like that, because I knew that could take me off the streets as well. So I was like, man, listen, people gonna say what they're gonna say, but the one thing about me, like, I never cared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew I had responsibilities. Like, you know what I'm saying? My daughter ain't care if that bottle of milk came from, you know what I mean? She just needed milk and Pampers. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you could be out here rapping and flowing and all, but we need milk and Pampers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, if you see me at Food Line working for these milk and Pampers, and that's just what you're gonna see. I'm gonna take the ridicule, but I'm gonna be in my daughter's life. I'm gonna be in my children's life. And, I took a lot of flack for it back in the day, but man, now people ride by that junk. Like, man, that's where Mad Skillz used to work. It's like a folklore story now. You know what I'm saying? It's
a living memorial. It's still alive, but it's there. Yeah. You gotta respect that. That's a great way to look at it as well. Yeah. And you mentioned WDC, right? WDC.
Yeah, WDC, yeah.
Which is University of Richmond Radio. Mm-hmm. Another college. And that's where Super Friends kind of came together. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's in the early to mid 90s. 2022, you are a professor at University of Richmond.
Yeah, it's crazy that I work at the same school that I got my rap name at 20 something years later. Like, a person who I never even met named me Mad Skillz at that radio station.
Oh, word?
Mm-hmm. I remember when Mike Street was on the radio, we would all go up there. And this is before Danger came into the fold. So it's me, Lonnie. Might have been Lonnie. It might have been before Lonnie. It's me, Kalanji, and Mike Street, EY, a couple other people, Lil Rock, Freak D. And I was just going by Shaquan. I was just going by Shaquan. And we used to, anytime the phone would light up, we would get excited because that means somebody was listening. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was listening to the hip hop songs, they was listening to us, they was listening. So Mike let us freestyle, and the only rule was don't curse. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, just don't curse. And I'm flowing or whatever, I get off. I think Kalanji or somebody, Mike the Merciless, somebody ended up rapping after me. The phone goes off and I answer. I said, WDCE. And he said, man, who was that dude that was just rapping? And I was like, who? He was like, man, that dude that was rapping over that Mobb Deep joint. And I was like, oh, you talking about Shaquan? And he was like, man, I don't know what that nigga name. That nigga got mad skills, Sean. And that was it. That's how it happened. Just like that.
Somebody in these streets that named you Mad Skillz.
Yep. And Mike, I remember seeing Mike Street's eyebrows go up when they said it. Like he was like, man, I don't know who he is, man. That nigga got mad skills. And Mike was like, me and Mike Street both had that look like. And ever since then, I looked it up. I did as much research as I could on it. Won't no rappers named Mad Skillz that I knew of. And I knew it was a word in hip hop that, was synonymous with, an abundance of talent in whatever you choose to do. And I was like, I feel like I got that in rap. So I'm going to just keep that.
That's crazy.
And now I work at the same school. I would love to meet that person, man, but it would have to be, it was just a voice. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it was like, it would be hard to track that, but I would love, man, that would be a hell of a story to be able to finally meet that dude.
You ain't gonna break him off like Ye did.
I ain't got 50 million to give him. and Ye ain't giving Beans 50 million either. So
I believe that. That I do believe. So yeah, being a professor though, bro, like let's see, ninth was at Central and he did the Harvard joint, right? And then Nas did the Harvard joint.
Yeah, you got Bun B did Rice.
Bun B did Rice. Did
Jizza he teaches quantum physics. Like Jizza's, it ain't even hip hop with Jizza. He on some other. Black Thought has done it before. A couple people, man. But yeah, those are, I remember when they asked me to do it, I called Night. And I was like, man, he was like, Skillz, trust me, bro. He was like, you know more about this stuff than anybody, man. Like, can't nobody out hip hop you, man. You know your hip hop, bro. Don't stop thinking you ain't qualified. He's like, I can see if you called me and said they want me to teach French or they want me to teach, Latin.
Right.
He said, but if they want you to do a hip hop course, bro, do it, man. And I was like, all right, I got to go ahead from ninth and the seal of just approval and just push forth. So I reluctantly jumped into it, and I love it.
I was about to say, how has it been for you?
Oh man, I love teaching because I can talk about hip hop all day. So to be able to sit down with various students at the university, because our classes ages range from 18 to, I think we had somebody in there who was like 57. You know what I mean? So it's a wonderful class, man. I have a partner, an amazing partner named Professor Nielsen. You know what I'm saying? Me and him, we kind of like yin and the yang, like good cop, bad cop. So the class is super fun, man. It's probably the most popular class on campus. It always fills up quick. And yeah, man, the kids love it, and we love teaching it, and it shows. And we, the class, it's not an easy A. We just ain't gonna sit in here and we're gonna talk about Bam, Hurt, and Flash, and then y'all just gonna pass. Like, it's not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for us, we speak about it as a social and as a political movement and as the most popular art form of music in the last 30, 40 years. So, it's really a part of everybody's life at this point. And if it ain't a part of your life, it's a part of your children's life.
What do they call you? Professor Skillz?
Professor Lewis.
They do? Okay.
Yeah. I had one dude, he was first day of class. One of the ball players, he played on the team, one of the Spiders, and everybody's coming in or whatever. And this was pre-pandemic. This is when I first taught it in 2018, and he comes in and he slide past the desk and he put his little pen on. He was like, "What up, Skillz?" And I was like, "It's Professor Lewis." Oh, my bad. Oh, all right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, we're gonna establish that early. You know what I'm saying? Like,
test the waters. He had to test the waters.
Yeah. Nah, he tried. It was cute.
Man, I'm gonna let you go after this. Maybe two more topics. I got to get this one. I mean, we are
Okay.
we 3 weeks away from the Super Bowl, and for the first time in the history of the NFL, we have hip hop at the forefront of the halftime show.
Yeah,
I'm hyped. I feel like everybody should be hyped. I'm hyped just because of the acts in itself. But on top of that, who would have thought the hip hop would take it this far, right?
Right.
What do you think about the NFL stepping into allowing hip hop into this space?
You know, you got to credit Jay-Z and Rock Nation. I believe that, you know, a lot of people forgot when Jay-Z made that move to start, you know, helping them out with their halftime shows. It was in the midst of controversy, so a lot of people didn't understand why Jay would they got us just out here, you know, shucking and jiving, like.
True.
But it'll probably be the blackest Super Bowl halftime show ever. And it's in LA, man. And, you know, from working with Dre and being around Dre, I know, you know, them 13 minutes, man, those 13 minutes gonna be some amazing time, because it's in Dre's hometown. Like, he has the means and the funds to do things that a lot of people probably wouldn't do. Right. And I know he will, because he wants to make it memorable. And I believe it's going to be something special. I'm not a football fan. I don't got a team or nothing like that. I don't, you know, grab my jersey on Sundays and go back and forth with the homeboys, but I will be watching this one. Like, I haven't watched football in a while, but I definitely will be watching this one.
If you had to make a wager for or against an appearance by Cube and Ren, which way you leaning?
I could see that happening.
I could say
Cube and Ren could possibly be there. I'll tell you who won't be there. I can tell you who will not be there.
Who won't be there?
50.
But that makes sense. That makes sense to me.
Right. 50 ain't gonna be there. And he probably kind of like, damn. You know what I mean? At least they're in the club. You know what I mean?
Right.
He could have, if they were still in good standings, but he ain't. Yeah, Dre ain't gonna do that, I don't think. I would love to see Ren. I would love to see Ren, Cube, Dre, and Snoop just standing next to each other with all black on. That just would be hard.
Boy. They ain't got to do Straight Outta Compton, nothing.
They ain't got to do nothing. They just just them four standing at the SoFi in LA. That'll be amazing.
Historic. All right, I'm gonna leave you with this, because I don't know if you know where this topic came from, and I'm gonna explain why it is what the real topic was, because I know it got misconstrued by Rock. Okay. I know Rock has torn this topic up. So the topic was originally, well, I'll tell you what y'all ended up talking about. It was Phife, Q-Tip, 3000, and Big Boy. And the topic was probably presented to you as, if you can't have one of these MCs, if one of these MCs, you have to take one out, which one are you taking out? Is that how it was presented?
Me and him definitely have had that conversation before, me and Rock.
Okay. The topic was initiated by me when I had Rock and Sean on my sports podcast.
Okay.
The actual question was Outkast and Tribe, which, if you take away one person from the 4 MCs, which group would still be itself, could still survive in its essence without one person? I said Phife. Rock went crazy.
Because that's
And you
his,
know,
that's,
I
that's
already
his
said
favorite
that,
rapper.
yeah, I already said that Tribe is my squad, like over
Right.
everybody by far.
Right.
But if I had to take away one MC, I think that Tribe would still be Tribe if it was Q-Tip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Outkast can be Outkast without Dre, and it can't be Outkast without Big Boy.
I agree with you.
That was it. That was the topic.
I agree with you. When you hear, being that Q-Tip was on so many of the songs, number one, his voice was on so many of the songs. Number two, his voice. As soon as you hear him, you know exactly who it is. No, he doesn't sound like anyone else. So if Q-Tip was to stay in the vein of making that type music, it could still be very A Tribe Called Quest. You know what I'm saying? I believe if you took, we only have Big Boy solo albums and Outkast albums to even rate what that would be like, because Andre never made a solo album. You know what I mean? But his stuff with his group is so monumental. And in that, even in that same vein, like Big Boy don't have nothing on his own that is as great as Outkast.
Absolutely.
Fife, rest in peace. I got him right here. But Fife didn't have anything on his own that had the same magnitude as Tribe. And it's not just the music to be judged in that era. You also got to talk about the time. You also got to talk about the what was spent on the songs, the budgets, the videos. You know what I'm saying? But that era was an immaculate, incredible period that we all got a chance to witness that decade of music. And it's a reason that they call it the golden era, because I believe that's exactly what it was.
100%.
Yes,
man,
sir.
I appreciate you chopping it up. Oh, sorry. Well, last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody seeing Hove in a versus? Not in a we gonna stay all night and play 100 songs versus, in that 20 song versus that is set up as. Anybody seeing Hove in that 20 songs?
I think the closest person that could probably give him a run, Ye could give him a run. It would be a good run. But if they go over 20, he gonna get Ye out of here.
Yep.
Drake could give him a run, but if they go over 20, he gonna get Drake out of here. Wayne close, but that man got so many, he got so many sure shots that it's really hard to stand toe to toe with him. And because it's like, yeah, you get two fighters in the ring, you can say, yeah, opponent B, he held his own, but he still lost. Because at the end of the fight, it's two columns. It's a W and it's an L.
Yep.
So, you've heard that speech, we've all said it in front of, the after the game speech. Oh, we credit them, get them credit for being but you lost. And I don't think too many people can stand on the stage with him and do what he does. He got a vicious catalog. Now, who I think could have hung with him, but he already blew his verses. He already did his verses. Snoop.
Yeah.
Because Snoop started. When Snoop started, Hove hadn't started yet. When Snoop stopped, Hove still was going. So it's like the later Hove, the Empire State of Minds and all of that, he still got those. But in 93, it was G Thing, and it was Gin and Juice. Won't know Hove till 3 years after that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough. It's a similar answer to what I gave you, to be honest.
Yeah, facts. Big facts.
But yeah, I do appreciate you taking the time to join me, man. I know you're a busy man, professor, DJ, still an MC. And everything else in between. Father, throw that in there as well.
Yes.
Any last thoughts, last words? Oh yeah, and of course, shout out the podcast.
Yes, the podcast Hip Hop Confessions. You can check it out. You can follow me on everything at Skillz VA, SKILLZVA. I'm still here, man. Still enjoying what I do, and still blessed enough to be able to live a life through music.
Beautiful thing, beautiful thing.
Yes,
Once
sir.
again, thank you for joining me, ladies and gentlemen. Skillz, Source, out here.
My G.